Hello. Y'all, I fly out today, so coming from the gym, and I wanted to go live because when I'm flying, it's normally when I'm about to fly, is normally when we go live. So you will not see me here, but I'll be playing on the internet and things of that such. I gotta make sure the rest of my bags and stuff is packed properly. I've taken everything out, I have everything everywhere. But good morning, good morning, good morning. And I do not want to start the day off with the Epstein files and things of that such, but we have to talk about certain things that I've noticed. I've been triangulating, and this is why I say they are looking for a black male, any black male. It didn't work with Diddy. If they could have got Diddy on the trafficking charges, they would have tied him to these Epstein files. I 100% wholeheartedly believe that. And I'm not saying he's a good man, but they need, and this is going to make it sound like I'm crazy, but they need black blood. They need that indigenous blood to make the spotlight come up off of them. And that is as calm as I can put it without sounding crazy, because the things I've seen, the things I've heard, looking at some of the stuff, it is tragic. But y'all know I used to cover a lot of uh, sex crimes on a huge level. I'm talking about past the Supreme Court level. So this is nothing new to me. I have really thick skin when it comes to that. When it comes to real life things, I don't internalize. I can separate the job from that. And that's probably why, as I got older, I was like, look, I can't keep doing this because uh, I can't keep doing this because a lot of victims were encouraged to just take the check and not get justice. So their perpetrator went on to either continue to harm people or change up their lives and become somebody else. And then people like myself and others are, are legally required not to out them because we handled the paperwork. Do y'all catch my drift? Yep, they're trying to do this with Michael Jackson, and it's not working because I don't know what it is about this time and place, because this happened in the 90s. In 96, I was a child. This happened in the 90s. So for decades, they were allowed to do something, and then he got caught up. I first talked about Jeffrey Epstein. What year was that? 2019. 2019 on this platform. I talked about it because the congressional lawyer was his attorney. And I found that strange. I was like, where did they do that at? Right? Somebody who was a part of the MAGA cabinet. So from there, I've been like, right? So when we talk about certain stuff, trust me, I want to get into the party and BS, but I need y'all to be aware. There is a reason. There is a reason. There is a reason. The rejection, we were being rejected from places because we were being protected. When we're like, oh my God, we can't get here, we can't get here. Oh, this is an all whites club. Thank God. Thank God. Because the bodies, the bodies, the bodies. I don't think it's a coinky dink that in where the Hoover Dam is at, the water started to rescind and bodies started coming up. Y'all think it was just adult bodies? It was children. It was children. It was children. Bodies is just turning up. Look at some of these natural disasters. Bodies are turning up in the strangest locations. And what made me start paying attention is when that really bad flood happened in Texas, when it was all whites only, right? And they had the camp, and then it was children that went missing. They only found certain adults, and I said, "Oh." And now looking at it, maybe Mother Earth is protecting, is snatching the youth from some of these people tied to these predators. Maybe, I don't know, because remember, we were all crying when Natalie Holloway's mama was out here talking about her child goes to Aruba and she thought Aruba was safe, just for us to find out sister is in the files with large ties. I don't know. I don't know. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So, yeah. So, what y'all about to see is a doozy, but I promise. I try to issue y'all in just a little bit. People think that we're distracted. We're not distracted. Governor Abbott is due for re-election. Vote him out. Primary him. This week, New Jersey, go out there and vote. Exercise your right to vote. They want to distract you so that you do not vote. Absolutely not. We're going to talk about it today. So as we're talking about these things, just be prepared. Start looking around. Because I've been side-eyeing everything. Everything they done told us about, talked about, it's given. Rejection was for the protection. So if you're like, dang, they wouldn't let me in, this was a this and this was a that, thank God. Thank God. You don't need to be the vessel. You don't need to be the vessel to bring forth the life, because they to me, it's looking like they need the babies. They need the babies for some type of something. And the girls aren't having the babies. So now they're making it hard for everybody. Shout out to women standing up. Y'all are standing on business. Without y'all, we could not be here. Shout out to the gays standing up. Shout out to the men who are victims, who like women, but were traumatized by other men. Shout out to y'all for using your voice to be a beacon of hope. Because, ooh, child, the things I've seen, it's just crazy. But let's get into something crazier. Are y'all ready? You ready for this? Y'all ready?
Breaking news. ICE agents on Reddit are complaining that they have not received some paychecks and their health insurance. Yes, you heard me right. They are crying me a river. And let me tell you some of the comments. One ICE agent wrote, "Man, it's been 4 weeks since I have gotten paid." Another agent wrote, "It's been about 2 months, still waiting. Has anyone else had this problem receiving their health benefits?" MSS said, "They don't know how long it will take, but I have a sick daughter." And some of the comments that were written that they could not pay their rent, their mortgage, or even their car payments. And this last comment is a good one. Still didn't get paid for the base check. Oh well, unbelievable. There you have it. ICE agents complaining on Reddit that they have not received their benefits or some paychecks. Agents waiting to get paid and waiting for their health.
Can you imagine showing up to work every day and not getting paid? Can you imagine showing up to work every day and not getting paid? I cannot. I cannot. I was like, if we're not getting paid, no. No, I don't want to hear it. I'm not mission essential. I'm not a priority. No, absolutely not. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Oh, it gets better. It gets better. Texas, this is why you shouldn't vote for. No, let's keep it on MAGA right now.
Something else.
What would you say to people who feel like they haven't gotten justice, Mr. President?
Something that people care about. Yeah, what do you say?
What would you say to the survivors who feel like they have gotten
You are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. You know, she's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile in your face. You know why? You know why you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth, and you're a very dishonest organization, and they should be ashamed of you.
Dang. Now she's not telling the truth, and she's a journalist. She's a reporter. Shout out to C-SPAN. Baby, the girls are fighting. The girls are fighting. Natalie wasn't in the files. Her mother is financially tied to someone who's in the files. I said it like that on purpose because, you know how the girls are. The girls be mad. Please get the likes up, please, and thank you. Did I start off like, did we go straight in? Hey, Couture Bays, it's your girl, Britt Brat, going live with the Bree Talk and Bay Squad. We gotta talk. Now, before we get started, let's like, comment, and subscribe. Tap that notification bell so you can get all the updates and alerts. And remember, opinions are not facts. Everything we say here is allegedly and for entertainment purposes solely. Everything we say here is allegedly and for entertainment purposes solely. Everything we say here is allegedly and for entertainment purposes solely. So sit back, relax, sip you some apple juice or my faith, the vegan water, and let's get into the mess. How you can like this video is by double tapping the screen. If you don't have that feature, hit those three dots right there. Thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe if you like the vibe, share if you care. How you can hype this video up, how you can engage with this video, how you can send a monetary donation is by hitting those three dots right there. And that being said, let's get into the mess. Yes. Like he called stupid, dumb, illiterate. Let's continue. Let's get into one of our favorites. Our favorites so far. Where is it? 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 This is what I looked up because of the same.
Doing a little scrolling and judging on YouTube, you know how I do. And I came across.
Oh, no. We need her to talk about what she saw. It's a documentary.
So I'm over here doing a little scrolling and judging on YouTube, you know how I do. And I came across this documentary.
What is the documentary? Oh, it was connected to the wrong Wi-Fi. That's why. Truth is I'm tired. Done. It was connected to the wrong Wi-Fi. You see the levels I have to go to provide the best Wi-Fi.
Y'all really need to go watch this shit.
Sorry about that. Someone called my phone. I apologize. Can y'all hear me? Sorry about that. Someone called my phone. I apologize. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? My apologies. I'm gonna have to nip that. I'm gonna have to nip that out. Cause y'all, why would they call? And I'm off today. You see, every time it's time for me to leave, they be like, come in. Like, no. Should I restart? We're gonna keep going. So remember I told you it's about this documentary, right? This documentary is crazy. I went and looked it up. I watched it while I was at work. It is wild.
So I'm over here doing a little scrolling and judging on YouTube, you know how I do. And I came across this documentary, and y'all really need to go watch this shit. Y'all really need to go watch this shit right here. It's called Orphan Empire. Who printed children in 19th century crystal palaces, okay? It's really odd watching this because it's pretty much talking about how, like, there was times in this world and even in this country where they were, like, deleting whole masses of people and doing, like, ethnic cleansing and shit. Plus, with all the diseases that was being spread worldwide, moms, dads, they were dying, and some of them were just leaving babies. These babies became orphans. Then, in order to like cure certain diseases, they were doing little testing on the babies. They lost thousands of babies. So like they was like, okay, we gotta figure out a way to replace all the people who died. We just gonna make some babies. And I'm talking about by laying down in the bed. They was making babies. These babies were brought up with people that were abusive, that made them slaves, that was doing all kinds of things to these kids. They put them through a whole assimilation process. And it's crazy because if you think about it, this happened during the silent generation, by the way. See, it's a lot of shit that happened during the silent generation. That might be why they call it the silent generation, because if they not dead and just not talking, okay? This wasn't in no Pearson's education book, okay? Now they were pretty much growing babies and incubator babies. And you remember back in the day, Little Rascals, Little Orphan Annie? Always seemed like those shows and movies from back in those days, it was always some homeless white kids. Am I lying? Never knew who Dorothy's mother was. And a lot of these trained babies, they grew into being adults. A lot of them probably work in our government. Go look it up. Go look it up, y'all. I can't tell you too much because I don't want them to say that I'm on here giving misinformation. The story not too long ago in reference to these incubator babies and Cabbage Patch Kids. Yeah, I did. Yeah, y'all need to go check this out. The tea is brewing. The tea is brewing.
I went down to Illinois to Reddish.
And y'all don't find that suspicious? I saw it. I think, type in the documentary she said. I went down this whole rabbit hole and I was just like, did y'all know kids used to be on the train and they would ride the train and then jump off in certain cities and then go live their lives? Nicole Kidman. It was Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie played this woman whose son was like kidnapped or something like that. And the people thought she was crazy. And then they brought her this kid. And she kept saying like, this is not my son. This is not my son. I forget what that movie was called. And I was like, what the fuck? And it was based on a true story. Channeling. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. When I tell you the girls have been slowly waking it up. There's also this other movie with Nicole Kidman and they don't go to sleep. And these aliens are taking over or something. I don't know. It's like something. And they have to pretend they were the aliens. Baby, this is crazy. This is crazy. And you're like, child, it's getting strange out here. So I believe the victims. I believe the victims. I believe the victims. I believe the girls who are telling the story. I believe the girls who are telling the truth about those non-melanated men, because you know they love to think it's us. And let me show you a fool. You want to see a fool?
Days since
Hold on.
It's been just 3 days since I posted this video of me sneaking onto Jeffrey Epstein's island. Every day since I've been home, there have been blacked out Escalade trucks sitting outside my house. I'm not sure what they want or who they are, but I'm posting this here now just in case anything happens. For all I know, this could be Jeffrey Epstein's friends. If I pissed anyone off, I apologize, and I want this all to be over.
And I'm so glad he did this because, you know, people be thinking it's a game. They think everything is a game until they do stuff like
That's me
this.
swimming towards Jeffrey Epstein's private island surrounded by security. First, I flew my drone and scoped out the island, noticing Coast Guards and no trespassing signs. And once we arrived on jet skis, a woman and her security guard started taking videos of us.
What the f***? He's taking a video of me. Why are you on Epstein Island? Who do you work for?
After a Coast Guard chased us away, I circled around back to make my attempt of sneaking on.
Where are you, Epstein? Oh my God, I'm on it now.
I had too much adrenaline to realize I was walking all over sea urchins. And in the corner of my eye, I seen the Coast Guard coming closer.
We gotta go. Go, the Coastal Guard. Go, go, go. What the f***? Like 3 of us.
1 million likes. I'll attempt this again. That's me swimming towards Jeffrey Epstein's private island. It's been just 3 days since I posted.
Baby, you're as good as gone. Why would you go to the island? Of course it's heavily protected. You know why it's heavily protected? Now we're going to get into Ghislaine Maxwell. Because people think it's a game. Oh, it's definitely real. He got black cards coming out so people were like, you can't go to the Epstein Island. I was like, why? If that's where the evidence is at, baby, let me show you something. See, they are protecting a lot. What is happening is this can crumble. You already see the royal family kick Prince Andrew out. And Prince Andrew was sending pictures of his children. Remember Fergie was talking about, he was sending pictures of his children. It's in the files. Remember they called Duchess Fergie crazy and she was isolated? It was because he was sending pictures of his daughter. Let's get into it.
No wonder they arrested this woman, because what he left her in his will was such a slap in the face. I bet they were terrified she was about to tell on everyone, because he did her so dirty. Jeffrey's last will and testament has been released, and he made this last will and testament 2 days before his life ended. Yes, he left a crazy amount of money and assets to his girlfriend. This one. Not the girlfriend who spent her youth with him and did all of the illegal things for him. Let's go over how mad she has to be now that she's learning exactly what he did and didn't leave her in his will. At the time of his death, his estate was estimated to be around $600 million. Let's go over everything he left this girlfriend. Her name is Karina. In his will, he gave her $50 million cash right off the top. Also included his island. That's right, the infamous one. And we're talking the whole island was left to this girlfriend. He also left her 48 loose diamonds, a 33-carat diamond ring. To help you picture that, this is a 15-carat diamond ring. He left her a 33-carat diamond ring. On top of getting his entire island, he also left her his property in Great St. James, his New York City penthouse, his New Mexico ranch, and his Palm Beach, Florida residence, along with his Parisian apartment. With an extra $5 million just to help cover the operating costs of those properties. That's what he left her. What did he leave the woman who had been by his side since the 90s? A woman who ruined her reputation and life for him. He left her $10 million. If you're thinking, oh wow, he still left her $10 million, he also left $10 million to his pilot. To put this even more into perspective, a guy he had just been friends with for a few years was left $5 million. After everything she had done for him, he not only chose someone else, he valued her the same as one of his employees. Nope.
Let me tell you something. Y'all have no idea how white women operate when they find out they are not the tokens. They will stay silent and compliant as long as it doesn't affect them. There's several women who are in the files whose children were in the files. I'm going to repeat that again because some of y'all don't understand this. Our beloved president, he has a son who hates him. That son is named with Ivanka when he was doing the check. He's beautiful, just like his sister. Blonde hair and all. Remember they cleaned him up just for the first campaign and then they didn't go get him? He's the one that they say is on the party favors and ostracized. He done been through some stuff. The only one who is smart enough, I guess, to stay and play the game was Ivanka.
They arrested this woman because what he left her in
was Ivanka. The people are acting a fool. And I keep telling y'all, you got to watch the people. But let's get into how the Christianity ties into this. Because some of y'all don't understand it. Remember, we did that video on that weird white pastor who was like, black people need to come to our church.
Oh my God, you guys finally figured out the elites are doing all this terrible, awful, horrible shit. Welcome to the party. I have more for you. Hi, I'm a sociologist that grew up in super conservative evangelical Christianity, deconstructed, and got really into the magical arts. After going through seminary school, and then studying the sociology of religion and getting a degree in it. Because this has been my hyper-focus for decades. And I'm autistic. But no, they're not Satanists. That's a little ruse they've been playing. This has always been what's been behind Abrahamic religions. They are the worship of the war and storm god, like Baal or Moloch from Samaria. And blood sacrifice rituals have been a part of that for a very long time. And pedophilia, killing babies, cutting off babies' dicks, cannibalism, sending a bunch of people to war so that they can use that as a blood sacrifice ritual, hunting people, and a whole lot of rape. And then they do this super fun thing where they have everybody in all the churches drink Jesus's blood, and then they harvest everybody's like worship and energy within those churches and instill in them a fear of hell so they can harvest their fear to support all their rituals, which are essentially rituals to make them all like rich and famous and powerful and win wars and those kind of things. Because they're feeding this, you could say, demonic entity, or egregore, some like to call it, in exchange for rewards. Like controlling the whole world! And this has always been what's been behind Abrahamic religions. And a really big key feature of that is the suppression of the divine feminine. It is essentially the spiritual roots behind patriarchy. So no, they are not Satanists. Satan would actually be like the opposite of that god, and is theologically like the light bearer that would reveal what that evil god is doing, and convincing you that that guy is the evil guy, and the evil guy is actually the good guy, is the greatest fucking lie they've ever fucking pulled. So no, they're not Satanists. They're Christian and Jewish. And I'm just really glad people are finally starting to figure this out, because it's been bugging me for a long fucking time. Like,
and somebody went in the comments and also said that they also target the indigenous because they hold the power to break us free from this. The power of connection of nature and the divine feminine. I was watching it, and something with it, you know, they always like to, you know, people like to play in your face and be like, oh, this is not real, this is not real, but where did you get that from? I've always said, where do you get these ideas from to come up with the it? Because it was only trapped through the Native American woman and that one black kid and those other little kids. Did y'all notice that? The kids are used, I did a whole video about that, a live where we talked about it when we was watching Welcome to Dairy, and I said, there's some truth to that. There's always truth to that. You know who was really big on waking it up, but he's very anti this administration? Stephen King. Stephen King. Stephen King wrote it. Stephen King wrote Dr. Sleep. Stephen King wrote The Mist. He wrote a bunch of stuff, and it was just crazy. And I love a lot of his books. He wrote Thinner, and it always tied to some type of practice or something. Something they do to cast a veil or whatever. Love Stephen King. He really knew how to dive deep. And in it, they use, remember, they were like, well, we need the fear. They feast off the fear. Fear is what feeds him. Remember, do y'all remember that? It was kind of like foreshadowing. And this is why they want to take the internet away. Have you noticed the powers that be bought up TikTok? They bought up Facebook. They bought up Instagram. They're doing something with Snapchat now. Child, and the only one who's kind of like still standing strong and tall because people have to make money? YouTube. Did you see that lady just miraculously died out of nowhere? What was that about? I told you want to know what's going on with the people. Look at the people. Look who they're tied to. Look at the money. Follow the money and they'll tell you everything you need to know. Follow the money. This pastor, Joel Webbin, he said we need to get out of the black churches and start listening to white pastors. Why? So they can harvest energy. That MAGA pastor, we did a video on him. When he was saying the good Christians were bullying him, I keep telling y'all, those evangelists, the Tammy Bakers, She came out and said some stuff. Y'all don't like to listen to them. And I'm like, y'all, it's on you. But it is what it is. Let's get into Savannah Guthrie. Because what is going on with Savannah, honey? Savannah's mother turned up missing one day, which is weird, very strange to me. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I saw it. It was TMZ talking about it. And I said, where is Savannah's mama? Well, TMZ is making it seem as if Savannah is guilty. So if y'all don't know, Savannah is on daytime TV. She came and her mother was gone. They couldn't find her mother. Her mother has been living with her, I guess, since she's been older. Y'all know, I don't know. But Savannah is a American journalist and things of that such. And it says, devastating picture of blood trail outside Savannah Guthrie's mom's home after signs of forced entry. Who would want to harm Savannah's mom? Who would want to harm Savannah's mom? Isn't that crazy? Let's get into... Is it going to play?
The mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie has vanished in concerning circumstances, with police now treating her home as a crime scene. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie hasn't been seen since Saturday night, and investigators are now fearing the worst. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos delivered a grim update in a press conference on Monday morning. While the search began as a missing persons case, evidence found inside Nancy's Tucson area home has changed everything. Authorities fear it means Nancy did not leave the home voluntarily. A neighbor even claimed the front door was found wide open. For Nancy, every hour is critical. She suffers from physical ailments that limit her mobility, but the sheriff's stress she's sharp as a tack mentally. The scariest detail? Nancy requires daily medication. Police warn that if she goes more than 24 hours without it, the consequences could be fatal. Savannah was notably absent from the Today Show Monday morning. She has flown to Tucson to be on the ground as the search intensifies, Sheriff Nanos said. In a statement, Savannah said, "Our focus remains on the safe return of our dear mom." Back in the studio, Craig Melvin and Chanel Jones shared the news with viewers, asking for help finding their beloved colleague's mother. The search effort is massive. Canine units, drones, helicopters, and Border Patrol agents are scouring the area with the FBI on standby. Nancy is 5'5", 150 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes. If you have seen anything, no matter how small, contact the Pima County Sheriff's Department immediately.
That is crazy. And I'm like, who would want to take somebody's mother? It's all her fault. They say the brother-in-law is a person of interest and they seized the sister's husband's car. Ciao. When it comes to intimate family relationships, whether it's the child, whatever, it's always someone close to the family. It never fails. It never fails. I watch enough Law and Order, enough ID Channel, and enough crime documentaries and series to know that it had to be somebody close, because the way TMZ put it out there, TMZ was not getting off Savannah's neck. He's like, it just seemed strange to me. And I was like, who would want Savannah's mother? We are living, I told y'all, the spooky hours are definitely upon us. The Chinese New Year hasn't even started, and look what's happening. This is about to be a wild year. I'm talking about it's about to be crazy. Look, anytime somebody's a family member, unless they're a truck driver, I feel like there's some ties to it. When the Luigi situation happened, because Luigi is getting a fair shake. When that Luigi situation happened, I looked at the wife, I said, and she's not involved? She wasn't, though. And they went after her first. They went through everything for her. So it is crazy. Let's get into Meg Thee Stallion. Meg Thee Stallion has an ad for Western Westminster, the dog, 150 dog celebration. And I said, look at Megan Thee Stallion getting a check. Like, every time she turns around, she's getting to the money. She was just in the news for having to pay this, the legal fees by Friday. And she's out here snatching a bag. Her and her dog. So, I said, Megan know how to get a check. Megan looked good. Her dog looked good. People love pets. I love watching the videos about the dogs that listen. And them dogs in Westminster was, child, groomed. You could tell thousands upon thousands of dollars are poured into those dogs, honey, because the way that they was walking around, their coats were shiny. They were well behaved. I said, child, she getting that bag. She getting that bag. I can't even be mad at her. She looks good, look happy. This is how you do it. And then she was using her music in the commercial. She was using her music in the commercial. Don't ever let anybody tell you that owning your masters is not a good thing. Your music is playing in the commercial that you're in that's going to be seen. Not only did you get paid for your music, you got paid to be in there, and your pet got paid? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. See, this is the brand. This is how you brand properly. This is how you elevate outside of just being a musician into being a mogul. And I love that for her. I'm happy that she still continued to go against the odds and do what she needed to do to solidify the brand. Shout out to Rock Nation, because the girls love to hate. The girls love to hate. They do. Speaking of girls loving to hate, can we get into R. Kelly's victim before we get into Corey Holcomb? R. Kelly's victim, Rashana Landfair, is the young woman from the infamous Peeing on You tape. You know, I never seen it. I'm glad I've never seen it. I was a child when that happened. But she's starting to get a little pushback. She's coming out as an author to release a memoir of a sort about her life and whatnot. And guess what? Her auntie, Sparkle, decided to come out with a message. So I'm going to read y'all the message. Bitch. Oh, not bitch. So Sparkle went on to say, I am relieved that Rashana is finally free to speak her truth and begin her healing journey in addition to justice. I've always wanted healing and peace for her. I do need to be clear about one thing. Any suggestion that I groomed, facilitated, or enabled harm to my niece is untrue and deeply painful, especially given my documented actions at the time and throughout. When I was informed her parents were allowing Rashana to spend unchaperoned time with R. Kelly, see, I told y'all, those parents were involved. Y'all didn't want to listen. I immediately contacted DCFS. When the tape surfaced and the state brought charges against him in 2008, I was still a child. I cooperated fully and testified under oath despite immense pressure not to do so. I did this because protecting my niece from abuse and telling the truth mattered more to me than the money and my career. This is the beginning of Rashana's lengthy deprogramming journey. It is true that she is a survivor of years of abuse, still learning to process what happened to her and who is responsible. It is also true and well documented that I stood up for her to try and stop the damage being done to her and countless others. I wish her continued healing and peace as she continues to not only find her voice, but hopefully require accountability from those who are close to her. And this says, not only was she essayed, but was also manipulated to believe her aunt was an enemy. But those who watched it all unfold knows you stood tall for that girl. Respect. Here's my thing. There's the truth. There's his truth, her truth, and then what people perceive to be the truth. I'm happy she's speaking, but I don't understand her continuing a relationship with him up until he went to prison. I hope that's not true. That's what the people are saying in the comments. I do know that Tasha K was instrumental in him being charged the second time and going down because of the interviews with his brother, some family members wanting the freeing of the girls, right? I said it from the beginning. Those parents didn't care. They were happy that R. Kelly took an interest to their daughters. So much so, they were getting paychecks. It's the same with the Epstein files. Do you really believe these parents did not look for their children? A lot of these parents brought their kids to these predators for a ticket. We covered that U.S. congressional representative who got the 11-year-old pregnant and then cut a huge check. We ain't seen that girl yet. We haven't seen the girl. We haven't seen the child. But they have the DNA evidence, and now he's teaching at a university. When people get up here and they talk about they want the dismantling of something, I say, do you really? Because that would require you holding a whole lot of the people accountable. A whole lot of the people, a whole lot, and not taking the money. We see now that some of your faves are aligning themselves with these very predators so that they can spew misinformation because they weren't picked by someone who didn't even make it to the presidency. It's unfortunate. It's sad. It's sad what money will do. People will turn a blind eye to money. That's why they say, shout out to Little Richard. When them people show up and they bring the very thing that can entice you, will you hold onto your morals or will you give in? A lot of people found out the hard way what enticed them. Everybody did. What did they use against you when it was all said and done? Because that money is something. That money will turn people into enemies. People who grew up with you know you inside and out. And that's all it'll take. We see it. We see it. Look what that money is making them do. And it's not just on the black side, it's on the white side too. That's why I say, you know, when we think about these victims and we ask themselves, how could they get in something like this? Their parents is doing this right here. Well, do this for the family. Y'all think it's because they're poor that they're doing this? No. It's tied to some type of, you owe me, this is what it is, because I said so, and the people are going. It's deeper than rap. That's why I said when they was out here with the Me Too, and they was out here no justice, no peace, and things like that, I said, wow. Hugh Hefner died right in time, did he not? Right in time, right in the nick of time. Because we saw him throw tapes into the ocean. Never understood it till now. They be playing right in plain sight. But let's get into Corey Holcomb, baby. Oh, Corey hit women Holcomb just came for Joe Budden podcast. Joe Budden, being the podcaster that he is, talked about it on his pod, right? Corey Holcomb heard it and went on 5150 and went to dragging Joe Budden, bringing up the very allegations of him knocking his ex, who was pregnant at the time, between the washer and dryer, causing her to miscarry. Y'all remember that? He talked about all of it. And I said, look at these men. Look at these predator men. They don't care anything about abuse. They just care, I want to throw it in your face. Take the heat up off of me because I'm tired of standing in this hot kitchen. And I love that for them. No regard for the victim. No regard for the woman who had to pick her life up, pick up the pieces. Been telling the world, this man did this to me. Nobody cared. They called her a liar. They said she was a money-hungry hoe. Now you have this very man in a position of power weaponizing that. That's why I say, y'all don't be caring about victims. Y'all just like throwing it in people's faces. Y'all do. Y'all do. Y'all do. Y'all just like throwing it in people's faces. That's why I don't align with the 50 Cents of the world. He don't care nothing about victims because he victimizes his own baby mamas. It's a power move. It's a power play. I'm interested to see what Joe Budden's going to say in response. Because I'm like, damn. And women, when you tie yourselves to these men, they will always triangulate you. Look at Melinda Gates over there about to break down and cry because they're asking her what was Bill doing on the island instead of asking Bill. Even though I feel like she's guilty to an extent, because yes, she was married to him. What caused you to leave? You never told us. Was he sending pictures of your children too? Was he just like the rest of them men? Because we read that in the files. Jeffrey was very much, send me pictures of the kids. Yeah. So when I see a Corey Holcomb making it very aware of the abuses someone did, I'm just like this. So now we care about victims. Because we clearly saw him swing on Christina. Swing on her. Her head went back like that. It was crazy. It was crazy. I was like, Corey Holcomb talking about stuff. Yeah, that was you who sat on that lady's stomach. That was you. Let me see if I can find that. Corey Holcomb, Joe Budden. That was nasty work. You see how men do understand abuse when it's time to drag another man. They understand it well. Corey Holcomb. I said, Joe Budden.
No.
Do you know who I'm talking about? Fruit Booty Buttons? See, I never say their name.
Yeah. As you should.
I got a name for him. Fruit Booty Buttons.
I know you.
And his crew. Fruit Booty Buttons is a serial woman beater. Fruit Booty Buttons is a serial woman beater. Was talking about how he sat. They said the girl said he sat on my stomach and made me have a miscarriage. You know what he said? I sat on top of her titties or something. He said I sat on where her breast was. That's where I was sitting.
Oh wow.
Fruit Booty Buttons, I know you ain't talking crazy about me, homie. I know you ain't talking crazy about me, homie. I mean, most of the time, all you guys who say what you say, I don't care what you say on guys. I just gotta say something.
No.
Do you know who I'm talking about? Fruit Booty. Guys, I just gotta say something.
No.
Do you know who I'm talking about? Fruit Booty Buttons? See, I never say their name.
Yeah.
As you should.
I got a name for them. Fruit
Oh, it
Booty
didn't
Buttons.
go?
Line. I expect you to talk about me. Yeah, Fruit Booty Buttons. They know who I'm talking about. Fruit Booty Buttons. That motherfucker say, I think he said I was a bitch ass nigga or something. Yeah, I'll be a bitch ass nigga online. Online, I'm a bitch ass nigga. Man to man, I ain't no bitch ass nigga, homie. But man to man, you a serial woman beater. Everybody do the homework on Fruit Booty Buttons and all of the women that have accused him of actually beating them up. Since you want some heat, since you couldn't leave me alone, everybody do the research on Fruit Booty Buttons and see how he is a serial woman beater. Fruit Booty Buttons? Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? So it's not that they don't know how to speak up. They don't want to. They don't want to. All because he spoke on what he's seen with the Anton Daniels and then the Christina Payne situation. Child, but what do we expect? Did we expect something different? But what are your thoughts on this, Space Squad? What are your opinions when you see me in a new location? Don't be alarmed. We are traveling. We're providing humanitarian support. It's rain season here in Asia, so that's what we do. I might do uploads because it's easier. I don't know how the internet's going to work out there. We never know when it's high volume like that. So we'll see. But what are your thoughts? What are your opinions? Comment down below. Happy Wednesday. Bye, hoes.